all the games a year ago coming off of the bench. How about on the other side for Baylor? They got back to the NCAA tournament, got knocked out earlier than they thought. They have some big shoes to fill, but really good seniors in Buggs and Bella.
They got Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, and they also have Bella Fauntleroy. Now, these are players that are going to bring the energy. They have the experience. They're going to have to be the leaders this season.
A brand new season of college hoops, and we are underway from Paris. And you see, advantage in terms of the returning scoring goes to the Blue Devils. Nearly 70% back. 4 of their 5 starters return. And it's a whole new backcourt for Baylor. One of the concerns for Nikki Collins, how do they handle pressure here tonight?
Nikki Collins for Baylor really talks about the defense. That's what they're hanging their hat on this season.
Taliah Scott is one of those newcomers in the backcourt, and it's also the first start in the paint for Kiersten Johnson, one of their big transfers.
Yeah, Kiersten Johnson coming over from Oklahoma. Nikki Collins said she has been the most impactful transfer.
There is the starting 5 for Duke as Fournier steps in with Mayer, Thomas, Jackson, and Jaden Donovan.
She's going to play more on the perimeter this season with the length that Carol Lawson brought in.
How does this club, very experienced, handle the weight of expectation? They are the preseason favorites in the Atlantic Coast Conference after they won the ACC tournament a year ago. And a runner is good from Ashlyn Jackson. The potential to be a 20-point scorer. See how she fits. Another takeaway for Duke. Of course, a program that really hangs its hat on defense, but steadily getting better each of the last 3 seasons on this end of the floor. And they think this is the area where they can make a breakthrough and reach the Final Four as Thomas scores in the lane.
And you've watched her game consistently evolve. That face-up game is huge for the Blue Devils.
Here is Littlepage-Buggs off the bounce. Fournier with the block. And that'll trigger an opportunity for the Blue Devils to push. Fournier running the floor, gets rewarded on the pass, and one. Averaged 13 points a game a year ago after she was a top 10 recruit for the Blue Devils. Duke defense last year that only allowed 56 points per game. In the NCAA tournament, it was under 50 a game. Spin from Johnson, and she gets the bucket. Senior out of Duncanville, Texas.
You can tell both coaches emphasize transition defense. They're not getting anything easy.
Jordan Wood off the bench, bothered. And the takeaway for the Bears. The pick, the roll, and another trip to the line. And
I love her energy that she plays with. She never takes a play off. She's willing to defend 1 through 5.
Former freshman of the year in the league, all Big 12. She and Fauntleroy and Kyla Abraham and Van Dykenbeek have been together. They may only go 7 deep with the 2 freshmen unavailable with injuries today. Open look for Wood. That is one thing that she's got to be more consistent at. That's her rep.
And she's really worked hard to put on some muscle in the offseason.
Scott counters.
Here we go. This is the pace we're looking for.
Trying to heat it up out of the timeout. Baylor with numbers. If Scott can get the ball to the middle of the floor. Bounce pass, Abraham. Mayer. The pitch ends up with Wood off the ball fake. Will step inside the arc. And he's short.
Fauntleroy hasn't attempted a shot yet.
Van Dykenbeek with the drive. Thomas comes down to help out, gets the block. Jackson, you have to respect her 3-point shot. She'll step back anyhow and knock it down.
Ashlyn Jackson last season, she had 87 threes.
Had a 30-point game against K-State. There's Buggs off the bounce.
That's the thing with Littlepage-Buggs. If you just clear the lane.
Off the drive. Mayer. Iron unkind, and here's Van Dykenbeek. In her 6th season, 4 with Baylor, 2 at Stanford. Rattled in by Littlepage-Buggs. Now under 10 on the shot clock. Jackson, a lot of dribbling. Thomas, good spin to face up and knock it down. Shot clock's off for Baylor.
I want to use a little clock here, not give Duke another possession.
Van Geitenbeek can't hit it. Wow. Buggs wins the rebounding battle and draws the foul with 3 black jerseys around her.
Stay after it and get a trip to the free throw line.
She's been their go-to here in the first quarter. 6 points for Dariana. Hey, don't forget.
We'll get to see Lulu Twidell. She hit 94 threes last season. And then the super freshman for Vanderbilt.
NC State, Tennessee, and UConn Louisville to start out the year. One last shot to beat the buzzer, and the floater is good. Nobody's with 6 points in that first half, in that first quarter.
And Baylor's gone to their bench. Pembroke and Dunn in the game on both corners.
Ashlyn Jackson leading the way for Duke with 5. Johnson. And able to knock that down on the run. And here come the Blue Devils with the push. The wrap attempted by Riley Nelson. Reaction coming right at you here from Paris. 5-second Riley. The Georgia Eagles going to look like coming up in our next game?
We do. Aubrey Galvin for the Commodores.
Freshman's point guard matchup in our second game. It's Puff Morris, the California Prep Player of the Year on the other side. So Ashlyn Jackson to the line, second team All-ACC a year ago, a serious threat from downtown. She tied Trisha Liston's school record.
Yeah, I think that specialty that she has to be able to shoot it from the three-point line.
Versatility to your game. It started with her with her conditioning in the offseason. Ooh, swatted out of play. Player that needs to show production at both ends of the floor, and she's fighting for playing time. Van Geitenbeek off the pitch out. Roy rebounds.
Normally it's Duke that has the advantage with the offensive rebound, and right now it's Baylor.
Bella off the bounce, and the finish on just her second shot. So strong when she gets that low block. Going to work on the left side, around and out. Falls back into her lap, and she'll finish the second time. Fauntleroy, blocked by Wood.
She now has an understanding, getting that first year under her belt.
Making her first career start here tonight in Paris. Today, back in the States. Down the drive. Only played 16 minutes before she was lost for the year. She has never averaged over a 20 minutes per game. They'll be calling on her to do that this season.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson, that one won't drop. Trying to dial it in. She's now 1 of 4 from deep. Here's Scott. That one even further out, hard off the back iron. And Taliah's 1 for 6. Fournier. They don't always stand out when it's time to vote for, players of the year.
Yeah, a lot of times it has been Ashlyn Jackson and Tina Mayer that have been overlooked. Mayer is the true point guard in distributing.
And then you got a player like Jordan Wood who says, keep me on the floor, coach. Give me the minutes. She is stronger. She's put on some muscle in the offseason. She's going to be whistled for the foul there. Although assistant coach Tia Jackson, I think, is trying to get Kara's ear there on the sideline. 22 a game. Then at Auburn last year, only played 3 games, but she was putting up numbers again. 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Here's Jackson. Duke really spreading out the floor. An opportunity to drive and a charge.
Both feet down, getting her torso squared up and absorb the contact.
Well,
Mayer with the steal.
Mayer with a takeaway in the bucket. Duke starting to stretch it now, up by 6. They've never trailed. Trying to work on the smaller defender and does just that. Oh, double dribble. It's going to be a double dribble.
Now through the trip, I'm trying to spread them out.
You got to blend them in with some beef bourguignon, steak frites. Here in Paris for the Oui-Play double. Locals call it the DMV, Carolyn, and that's one of the spots where Duke loves to recruit. And I set her up nicely, but you couldn't get the bucket right there.
13 gold medals.
A lot of time with USA basketball. Duke has not trailed. Baylor has tied him up a time or two, and they'll do it again with the Scott runner. Wood. Yuting Dunn has entered the game for Baylor. The sophomore out of China, transferring in from Auburn with Scott.
Taliah Scott, yeah, expect the shot. You think she's going to run a dribble handoff, but she's got the instinct to keep it, take it for herself.
Scott, another opportunity to get their first lead of the game.
Ricky Collins told us Kiersten Johnson didn't know how much she was going to play for a lot of minutes.
She's a newcomer, so is Yuting Dunn, and they do have that first lead on a bit of a run here for the Bears. Fournier tries to stop it, and Abraham was there defensively. Here is Scott. Her coach says she has that it factor, and that is factoring in the game right now, and it's a 4-point advantage. It's the post-Page era, and with that group, they look to be in pretty good hands.
It just seems like talent continues to roll into Storrs, Connecticut. You know, Sarah Strong added to the roster last season. AJ Flood helping huge in that championship game.
Johnson on the drive, scoop won't go. Big news out of Lady Ball Country is the dismissal of Ruby Whitehorn after a second arrest. She's gone from the team. It's going to be a big loss. Riley Nelson with her first bucket as a Blue Devil.
You know, at that last timeout, Carol Lawson had a long talk with Nelson. And so Nelson has responded.
And they'll force the turnover there. On the inbound here, 20 seconds on the reset. Nelson feeling it. Hitting it. Back to back. Wood stays in the game. Number 13 in black. And look who it is making a play. Donovan, their game changer on the defensive end of the floor.
I'd find Riley Nelson.
There she is, number 4 in black. Scott is all up in her business defensively. And now Nelson finds some space and doesn't get the bounce. Donovan gives him another chance. And now 6 seconds for the Bears to push. Scott checks the clock. Heaves, and it's blocked by Wood. In that first half, they did end the second quarter on an 8-0 run.
Now what Duke's going to have to do, though, is they're going to have to play without foul. They've got 4 players with 2 fouls to start the third.
Yeah, it looks like they changed one of the fouls on Wood and gave it to a teammate, so 4 with 2. And it is the same starting 5 out there for the Blue Devils to open up this second half. Same thing for the Baylor Bears. Jackson, deep, no. And on the box out, last touched by Buggs. 4 on 5.
You see Littlepage-Buggs, she's in the paint and then jumps in the restricted arc.
Now that's going to be a block on Buggs. And Toby to the free throw line. Blue Devils just 5 free throw attempts in that first half. Last year was about confidence and connectivity for her coming off the bench, according to Kara Lawson. Figuring out the way that Duke operates. And now into the starting lineup this year. Littlepage-Buggs off the bounce. That's her first basket since the first quarter.
And then look at where Littlepage-Buggs is. She is staying. Oh. And I think Fauntleroy got both feet down before Fournier got into that gathering position.
Jackson to Donovan. And again, you see the defense will sag way off of her. Jackson pulls up, 15-footer, got it. And now they got to go. Van Geitenbeek off the bounce and is able to draw contact. Peyton and Eli will be on ESPN2. And of course, NFL Live gets things started from AT&T Stadium tonight. NFL action. Fournier going to work inside. Tipped up and in by Donovan. First points of the night for her. Here's Mayer, look at the push. Nelson on the move. Fournier going a lane and foul. No, they're going to give that to Johnson. Her second, so Fournier back to the line.
Yeah, that was an area of her game last season, only 65% from the free throw line.
Buggs off the bounce. Fournier right there to match. Another opportunity. And Fournier was there to bother.
Ooh, after 2 blocks, you got to reward Fournier. She ran the floor.
He was calling for it. Wood off the ball fake. Swatted by Abraham. Out in front is Johnson for the lefty lane.
Yeah, Baylor going with the 2 bigs. And Jaden Donovan a little slow getting down the floor.
Fournier. She draws another foul.
Abraham gets the block, and then she points ahead. Says, give it to KJ. My teammate, my other big, is running the floor hard. It's been a block party here in Paris. Toby Fournier getting into the action. Fournier's got 9 blocks.
Team.
Oh, the team. Duke has 9. About Duke and block shots with the length that Kara Lawson's going to have this season.
Well, and for a team that sometimes searches for offense, and it's often sparked by their defense. All ACC defensive team last year, now in her 3rd season in the starting lineup for Duke.
Ooh, so close.
Wow.
To a 10-second call.
Littlepage-Buggs, nice drop off. Abraham probably didn't need the dribble, but she'll tuck it around to the left side. Toby in the lane for a second. Now she'll come out to set the screen and roll. Mayer pulls up short. Neil Pierre joining Zoe Brooks and company for the Wolfpack this year. The transfer from Vanderbilt. We've got Vanderbilt and Cal coming up next here in Paris. Rebecca, Ryan Rucco, Holly Rowe will be on the call tomorrow. That game that was moved from Germany back to the States. Taliah Scott. They're going to need more of that in this second half to rally. And now they pulled back within 1. Donovan, weak side, mid-range. Can't knock it down. 1 for 3 now, a couple of points. Had the pick, but Van Geitenbeek couldn't find the roll. And now Fournier with the finish. Fournier rejecting. No reset, so under 5 on the shot clock.
Oh,
Abraham, big rebound. Johnson looking for some second chance points, and she'll get them. to a one-point game. Mayer turns it over.
Taliah Johnson, top 50 recruit. ESPN Hoop Girl, she is getting some quality minutes in her first game here in Paris.
Bears looking for the lead. They go to their senior, Littlepage-Buggs. No. Abraham, another one of the four-year players, and a foul. Too soon to talk about resume wins? It's never too soon to talk about resume. So they lose some size there. That was the 15th Duke forced turnover. Fournier tried to score into the double team, denied. Johnson to beat the buzzer, and it comes up just short.
Their fans have been able to enjoy the sights of Paris. I think it's a great opportunity for teams to bond.
Yeah,
they get to experience some great things together they'll remember for a lifetime.
Toby Fournier leading the way for Duke, 11.7 rebounds. Littlepage-Buggs and Scott in double digits for the Bears. Defensively, they held Duke to 10 points in the third quarter, and they will grab the lead to start the fourth. On top for just the second time tonight. Here is Toby way out top. Looking for her, burying her defender inside, and Fauntleroy gets the block, playing with 3 fouls to start out the quarter.
I would expect that Bella Fauntleroy is going to have the assignment of staying with Toby Fournier inside. But great anticipation by Taliah Scott to start the quarter.
Nelson pulls up on the baseline. Both Donovan and Delaney Thomas not starting this fourth quarter. Thomas with 4 fouls. And Scott dribble drive. Fauntleroy gets the steal on the errant pass. Scott, good hezzy, pull up, bang. And the biggest lead of the night for the Bears.
Yeah, Taliah Scott, when she went to Arkansas, she was probably the best player on the team. Same thing at Auburn. She's got talent around her when you need a shot of offense.
6 unanswered points to open up the fourth quarter with the game on the line late. As we move into clutch time. Shot clock winding down. She had to heave, and they weren't able to run any offense coming out of the timeout. Buggs, and now here comes Scott. 1v1. Shot clock winding down, and Taliah has it blocked.
Scott tried to use her quickness, but there's too much length to do the rotation there, especially when Jordan Wood is available. Johnson is a relentless freshman.
The pick, the roll, contact, offensive foul. So 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter, Duke looking for its first points. The value of every possession now for both these teams when you're only shooting around 30% on the floor. And you got shot blockers all over the place tonight. Teams have combined for 20.
Well, and you know what would help that? How about a little shot fake? Just get a little shot fake, and then you can get yourself to the free throw line.
Ooh, Scott almost got another pick. With 3 turnovers in 4 minutes. Jackson gets it inside. Thomas off glass. It's been a day for the defenses. But who can make the plays offensively here down the stretch? Van Geitenbeek stripped, and she was the last to touch it.
You got to keep an eye on number 3, Ashlyn Jackson.
Still without a triple in the second half. Nelson looking for some help. Backdoor cut, denied. And that's going to take care of the shot clock.
Not stop on the play, but finish the job.
Who can score here in the fourth quarter? That's the question right now. Van Geitenbeek, she steps up and delivers a three. Fournier says, give me a chance, and scores in the lane. Scott. Mayer with another big strip. Nelson the other way. Duke needs to get Toby a touch.
Got a little floppy action.
Thomas. Mid-range, no. The deflection. Duke gets to keep. Mayer tries the wild shot weak side, and nobody got a body on Fournier.
Jaden Donovan back on the floor.
Gets the second, did not step off the gas.
I love the mentality of that sophomore too. With all the accolades she got last year, she said, all I want to do is win.
Who's going to win this one? Late, coming up on 2 minutes to go. And that's going to be on Mayer. That will be her third. And she is two made free throws away from 20 tonight. Bears as a team are 9 for 12 at the stripe.
Mentality with this Baylor team, she said, we all have the mindset of putting each other in good spots.
And what a way to start out the new year.
Johnson's going to be able to stay in the paint, playing off Jaden Donovan to help in the paint so they can put more pressure on the three-point shooters.
Jackson. The double comes, Donovan, and now Mayer. Off the bounce into the lane, good help coming from Abraham. Fournier swoops in for a rebound, no. Loose ball, Donovan, and a shot clock violation, holding Duke to 28% shooting from the floor. Scott defended by Donovan. Scott with a step, but into Fournier and draws the foul. How does a big-time scorer with a big-time scorer's mentality fit? She actually talked about her maturity, saying, I know what I'm capable of, but I want to win. When they've needed her to score, she said, all right, give me the ball.
Arkansas was not a team that was ranked. Neither was Auburn. Now she had to step up her game when she's playing Baylor.
Fournier with the response. Keeps it a two-possession game, approaching the final minute in Paris.
All Duke has to do is get 2 stops in a row.
Scott, tough shot, offensive rebound. Johnson misses the layup. Abraham a chance, and Duke comes away with it. The push from Jackson. Nice feed to Wade. Baylor looking to start out the season with a big upset of a top 10 foe. Scott Donovan, meet again, up top. Taliah Scott to the right side, drives into the defense and a foul. The Bears in the bonus. Baylor still with a foul to give.
Well, Carol Lawson only has 1 timeout. They were prepared for the end of the half. They scored at the end of the third. You see Carol Lawson saying play on, so they have a quick strike should they make the free throw.
They got their defenders out and their better scorers in. Scott 8 of 8 from the line. 6-point Baylor lead. Looking for their first 3 of the second half. It won't go. Loose ball scooped up by Scott. On a 24-point night for Taliah.
And Duke gets the foul.
Duke lets precious seconds tick away. And the Baylor fans are on their feet with a 6-point lead and 9 seconds to go. They've held Duke to just 9 points in this fourth quarter and only 19 in the second half. misses them both. Fournier's got it as Nelson will inbound. With a foul to give, they won't try it there. The three ball, no good. Wood scoop won't go, and it's Baylor basketball.
The versatility that she has, this transfer has fit right in for Baylor.
And all they need to do is inbound it, and the Baylor Bears with a